Bom, Greg, primeiramente, gostaria de agradecer a sua disponibilidade. A gente sabe que você é um cara que trabalha muito, você esteve recentemente aí no Brasil com a turnê do System of a Down, e a gente vai ter aqui uma conversa, tá? Não é uma entrevista, e eu queria começar, primeiramente, perguntando como surgiu o seu interesse pela fotografia, por essa arte visual, como você começou nessa atividade, se foi algo preparado, foi algo aleatório na sua vida? E já aproveitando o gancho, como você conheceu o System of a Down, como foi esse início dessa relação?
Wow, that's like that would take me an hour to answer all of those questions.
É,
Um, okay, yeah, I started with this. I mean, I've been shooting for a long time. I started out as a fashion photographer actually in the 1980s in New York City, and then transitioned to that to shooting music, and then moved to Los Angeles right before 2000, and just started music shooting only. Um, Then I kind of worked my way through the bands. First, I shot Earshot for Warner Brothers. Then I started working with Mudvayne. Then I was with Linkin Park for about 7 years, and then System of a Down also at the same time. System of a Down, obviously, I'm still with them. That's been almost 25 years now. So that was just sort of a logical progression, just from one thing to another. That's quickly how that happened.
Mm-hmm. And how was exactly this transition? Because you mentioned you started as a fashion photographer and then you transitioned to music, right? Can you explain a little
Yeah,
bit more how that happened? Was it all about passion? How that happened exactly?
yeah, fashion was cool, but it was more for me. Fast shooting fashion was more about the models and not enough about the clothes. And I was more about the subject that I was shooting and the person. Then I started doing portraits for a lot of the magazines, Rolling Stone and Spin specifically. Then I shot Nirvana for their first Spin magazine cover. And then the short answer is shooting music just was more interesting and more fun to me. And I preferred the permanence of it. Like I love it when one of my photographs is on a t-shirt or a poster or an album cover. Whereas when you're shooting fashion, very often it's like it's a few pages in a magazine. And at the end of the month, then it's another magazine or another page on the website, whatever. So, and music is always something that has meant something to me my whole life. I have an attachment to it just like everybody else does. And being able to be there while it's being created and capture it from the beginning all the way to when it's being performed, that for me, that's the biggest attraction to it.
mas ok. Muito massa, muito bom isso. Aproveitando o gancho sobre essa sua relação com a música, ano passado você esteve em exposição no I Got Pictures on My Wall, junto com a banda, algumas fotos icônicas que você tirou ao longo desses anos do System of a Down. E eu queria saber como foi a sua forma de escolher essas fotos, quais imagens iriam para aquela exposição. E assim, se é um trabalho muito difícil você ter que escolher alguma foto preferida.
Okay, first for the gallery show. The gallery show was actually Serge's idea. He has a brand new gallery in Glendale now, which is also an excellent Armenian coffee shop.
Mhm.
And he's constantly showing new pieces of work. Obviously, the first thing that he hung up there was his own paintings, and that was a really cool thing. But he wants to be rotating lots of different artists of all different kinds of art hanging in the gallery, not just his paintings only, obviously. And so he thought one of the great things to have would be a System of a Down show, and I've been doing it longer than anybody, so I've got the great catalog of all those pictures of them. So yeah, that was his idea, and it was an amazing thing. There were so many people that came that we had to have 8 opening nights instead of one. Probably 3,000 people came. We sold more than 100 prints, which is I was flattered that that many people wanted that many pictures. We're still selling prints. I'm still signing them now for people. The band even got copies of some of the prints, and they're hanging them on their wall. So yeah, that was all his idea. The shots actually, I couldn't narrow them down honestly because I have thousands. I have thousands of pictures of System of a Down. I have pictures of System of a Down that I haven't even looked at yet. I mean, I've looked through them quickly to find the best ones that we need to post or that they need for something special. But there for sure are pictures in there that someday I'm going to find and like, wow, look at this. So I couldn't do it. So what I did was I put 1,000, seriously, 1,000 pictures in a folder, and I sent it to Serge, and he and the rest of the band and management went through and they picked their favorites. Actually, it was Serge's quote, "Let us tell your story for you." I was like, dude, I can't decide. I don't know what I did. Backstage, on stage, next to each other in different parts of the world. I don't know. And so they picked the moments that were the most important and special to them out of the ones that I shot. So that's how that happened. Um, how my relationship started with them. Like I said, I had already been working with bands here in Los Angeles, big metal bands. I was with Mudvayne and Linkin Park, especially. I actually did a book of Linkin Park published a coffee table book of my photographs, like 200 pages um, for the Meteora tour that we did on '04 and '05. That was a world tour. I was like all over the place with them, and again, they picked their favorite pictures from out of what I had shot, and that's what were in the book. That book was all over Los Angeles when that came out, and everybody was very impressed by it. It's like it was a big deal. It was like to have something like that. And System of a Down already sort of knew who I was. I mean, I had shot them a few times. We had done some Metal Hammer covers before, but I had never shot them live. And so once that book came out and there was like a buzz around LA about me shooting live, and I shot a lot of other bands live. And anyway, one thing led to another, and I finally got to shoot them live. And it was their tour of Americas. That was their first tour. And the first show ever was their Souls 2 show at the Greek in 2004.
Wow.
And it was just kind of one of those things that it's like any other kind of relationship between artists. It's like they liked what I did. They liked the way that they looked in my photographs, which is the most important because, I mean, they've worked with every photographer in the world, the best people, so it's like it has to be a personal relationship. It has to be an artistic relationship. They have to like having me around, it's like, do you even like having me hang out with you guys? Is it okay if we all go to dinner, or is that a problem? Things like that. So it's the whole thing. It's not just how my pictures are of them. It's how they feel about them and how they feel about having me around. And that's lasted, like I said, now almost 25 years. I got an amazing shout out from Darren. I need to post it on my Instagram, but I got an amazing shout out from Darren in Rio de Janeiro, where he like gave me up, thank you for everything that you've done. That was a pretty cool moment.
Give a special round of applause to a man that's been with System of a Down for over 25 years, Mr. Greg Waterman.
And I've done a lot of interesting things with the band besides System of a Down. I mean, I've shot all of their solo projects. When they went on hiatus in 2006, I was in the studio with Serge while he was recording his first record. I was in the studio with Scars on Broadway for the first two records there. I made videos and photos from those two things. I've done things for John for Torpedo Comics. I did all the stuff for A Chosen, everything that you saw for A Chosen. I shot all of that. I was in the studio with Shavo and Riza till 5 o'clock in the morning while they were writing and recording that stuff. It was an amazing experience just all by itself. I've been at the hospital an hour after their children were born because one of them, oh no, I want Greg Waterman portraits of right after they were born. So it's like, so I was right there for that. I've shot weddings. I've shot private parties. It's been a much bigger thing than, oh, will you come on tour with us for a week or two? I've literally been around the world with them on tour though, but to most of the continents, and it's been an amazing experience. They're amazing people, and the energy that they give off and the energy that comes back from the fans, and the fact that I get to basically literally be in between those two places. I'm literally like, I've got 50,000 people behind me losing their minds, and I've got 4 people in front of me that are doing everything they can to make those people lose their minds. And I've back and forth and in between that all.
That's great.
Anyway, yeah, next question. Sorry. That was too long of an answer.
Oh, it's perfect answer,
Speaking
yeah.
more and more, it's good for us. Você acabou de falar um pouco da minha próxima pergunta, que seria, você foi creditado como fotógrafo no CD Elect the Dead, do Serj Tankian. Você foi creditado também como diretor, co-diretor do clipe do Scars on Broadway, Guns Are Loaded. E eu queria saber, para você, o que é mais difícil ou mais interessante, se é estar no palco, batendo fotos, tirando fotos dos integrantes nos shows, ou se é mais complicado você conseguir transmitir o que o artista quer nessa outra parte de produção de clipes, de encartes de música, a filosofia do artista.
The more challenging part is the more personal moments and time that I spend with them. The way that I do my job is I have a very specific way that I do my job. I'm very known for being in a lot of different places at once, moving around very quickly, but not getting in the way. I'm not the person that walks into a room and like, hey, everybody, let's get together and make a photograph. I'm the opposite of that. I sneak in barely, close the door without making any noise, and stand in the corner and just try to I'm more like a sniper, just individually trying to capture these moments. And I'm doing the same thing on stage. I'm trying to stay out of the way. I'm trying not to interfere as much as possible. And I'm just trying to get the best moments of when they're doing what they're doing, or flipping back and getting the fans when they're at one of their top moments. But I do that for everybody. That's the way that I do my job. And I would do that if I was shooting your band in front of just your family and friends in a tiny little club. I would shoot it exactly the same way that I shoot System of a Down in front of 100,000 people. Now, that being said, the time that I spend with them that's more private, that's where I'm really very careful all the time. I'm always worried that I'm going to say the wrong thing, and Darren especially, he likes to give people a hard time sometimes. And even after all these years, sometimes I still don't know when he's kidding or he's being serious. He's just being fun. I mean, I have much love for that guy in both ways, but sometimes he can be so serious and he can look at you like he wants you to die. And you really think for a second that maybe he does. Of course he never would, but just that even that he can, and maybe you think, oh no, did I do something wrong or say something I shouldn't have said? Or so yeah, those are the most difficult times, is when I'm in a personal situation with them and I really have to be careful that I don't get too comfortable, and I'm not, yes, I'm part of the family, but I'm not. I'm also here as their photographer. I'm here to document a moment. It's like it's a very difficult line to walk sometimes. They don't make it difficult. It's just difficult in my own head.
Bom, galera, essa foi a primeira parte da entrevista. Vocês podem ver que agora eu já tô de barba, porque demorou um pouquinho para editar. E se você quer ver a parte 2, então deixa teu like aqui, comenta se você gostou, que aí a gente vai e solta a parte 2 dessa entrevista, que tá muito boa, tá? Então é isso aí. Conheçam mais o trabalho do Greg, é um excelente profissional e um cara muito gente boa, de verdade.